Hey guys, I'm Rohit Khurana, your host on Intellect Digest, and today we are back with another episode. And today we have with us the Micromax Canvas Knight. I'm not going to do the unboxing and bore you with the box content. You have already seen plenty of videos of unboxing of the Micromax Canvas Knight. In this video, I'm going to talk about 8 very important factors when you buy a phone. We'll talk about these factors in detail for the Micromax Canvas Knight here. First, we'll talk about the design and build quality. Second, we'll talk about the display quality and touchscreen performance. Then we'll talk about the gaming and benchmark performance. After that, we'll talk about the specifications and features. Then we'll talk about the camera and the quality of pictures and videos that you can record with the Micromax Canvas Knight with the 16 megapixel camera. After that, we'll talk about the video playback quality and audio quality. Post that, we'll talk about the battery life and battery performance of the Micromax Canvas Knight. And after that, we'll talk about the price and value for money proposition of the Micromax Canvas Knight. At the end of this video, I'll tell you about my overall impressions and what I feel about the Micromax Canvas Knight. Let's get started. Let me start with the first and most important factor, build quality. A phone's build is very important for its durability and how it looks and how it feels. The Micromax Canvas Knight does feel really premium. It is fairly slim and has metallic build. This all frame that you see all around the phone is metallic and it gets a toughened glass at the front as well as back. We don't have any information of whether these are Gorilla glasses because it is nowhere mentioned, but these seems to be good quality glasses on the Micromax Canvas Knight. Talking about the button placement, on the right side you get a power or wake up key on the top, followed by volume rocker keys just below it, and you have the SIM card tray just above it, and there is one more SIM card tray on the other side. There is a 3.5mm audio jack on the top, there is a large speaker grill at the bottom, and there is a standard micro USB port for charging as well as data syncing at the bottom, followed by a primary mic. We don't see any secondary mic hole for noise cancellation, so we are not sure whether this phone has a secondary microphone at all. There is a front facing 8 megapixel camera and a 16 megapixel rear camera which comes with flash. We have tested the camera and it works out to be pretty well. We'll talk about the camera in a little while. Second, let's talk about the display and quality of the screen on this phone. The display does not look bad at all. This is a full high definition 5-inch display. Looks very nice and the viewing angles are also very good. As you can see, from very steep angles you can still see what is on the screen and it looks very natural. The color reproduction in this case is much better compared to the previous generation of Canvas series phones. This is not at its maximum brightness right now, so if I turn up the brightness you can see the display goes even more bright. So it is very vibrant and very nice looking display and will not disappoint you when it comes to display quality. Also, the touchscreen response of the display is also very responsive and is very good. As you can see, there is no problem whatsoever when it comes to the touchscreen response. So Micromax has put a very good quality display on this, which is a high definition display, very good to consume information, videos, multimedia, etc. In our next section, we talk about the gaming and benchmark. So let me show you the benchmark scores, what we get on the phone, and then we'll talk about the specification in the following section. So on Antutu we got a score of 25,816. We tested it against the competition and let's put it against the Samsung Galaxy S4, which is higher at 27,000, but this is not bad either, considering that this phone is very low priced compared to a Samsung Galaxy S4 and still manages to rank there is very impressive. Let me quickly show you the bar chart also. This comes somewhere between the HTC One and the Samsung Galaxy S4 when it comes to performance on Antutu benchmarks, which means that the Mediatek Octacore processor is doing great on the Micromax Canvas Knight. Let me also show you the graphics benchmark which we ran, and we got a score of 45.9 frames per second. And this is a much improved GPU compared to what we saw in the 6589T turbo chipset, which we saw on the Micromax Canvas Turbo. It gives much better graphics performance on a full high definition screen, which is really encouraging news for the gamers who are looking forward to buy this device for gaming purpose. Let me give you a gameplay demo to show you how the graphics fare on the Micromax Canvas Knight. We have done a separate gaming review video, so do check that out if you want to see what it is capable of. In this video, we keep the gaming section concise. As you can see, the graphics are rendering very smooth on Dead Trigger 2. All the detailing on the screen is bright and nice and the graphics are butter smooth. There is no lag whatsoever. Even if you move it, there are no jerky movements. It's fairly smooth, and let's go for a close combat battle. Let's do some shooting. We'll cover more games in our gaming review, so do check out the other video as well. Let me talk about the camera quality of the Micromax Canvas Knight. The 16 megapixel rear camera is a real good shooter. We tested it with some tiny objects here, and we tried to put them in different configurations, and let me show you how the results came out to be. We tried different modes. So this is an HDR mode in which the pictures come out to be really clear, and this mode in which the objects are really nearby but this wireframe is a bit far, so you can see it is kind of out of focus. So it focuses very sharp and very nicely, an equidistant kind of thing, and it focuses really well. And here is when the real capability is shown. The car at the front, we touched it and focused it, and the rear object became really blur. This is a really good depth of field, especially for a mobile phone camera. This kind of defocus effect on the rear object is really impressive. In this shot, you can see the car is slightly out of focus and the rear object is in focus. We again touched the screen, and this time on the wireframe, and it did manage to take a really good shot. This is another shot which I really like. You can see the detailing in the picture is very good. So let me give you a quick live demo of the same. So arranging these objects at different distances and then touching on one of these objects and taking a shot. And here you can see in this picture, again the sharpest part on this picture is the car where I just touched, and the other part has gone blur. So this is the power of focus of this camera. I must appreciate this has a very good picture quality. Also the front facing camera 8 megapixel produces really good pictures. I did some shots on the front camera as well, and these are a few shots. The clarity in the picture is very good. This is me and my colleague. So as you can see, the camera produces really sharp images both from the front as well as rear camera. I also did a video test, so I'm including this video in the video that you are watching right now. In this we tested the autofocus capability when taking videos. The video recording supported on this camera is full high definition when you set the video quality to fine. And here is the video in which we move these small objects closer and farther from the camera, keeping the camera at a fixed position, and saw how it autofocuses on different objects. So just have a look on this video. I am embedding it right next to this timeline. Now let's talk about the specifications and features of this phone. So this phone is powered by an octa-core, which is probably one of the fastest processor from Mediatek, a 2 GHz octa-core processor in which 8 cores of 2 GHz are working parallelly. This is a true octa-core, unlike the Samsung octa-core that we have seen, in which there are 2 quad-core processors, and it has 2 GB of RAM. There is 32 GB internal memory, out of which around 24 GB is available for you, which is fairly enough for most of the users. There is no expandable memory card slot. The specifications on this phone are pretty decent. I am really impressed by the kind of performance that this processor is capable of, but there is some heating which I have noticed, and it happens around this area both on the front as well as rear. Probably the processors are placed here, so when you do some high processing or play some heavy games, there is some heat which is dissipated, which is probably okay because most of the phone during high processing do dissipate some amount of heat. The Android version on the Canvas Knight is 4.2.2 Jelly Bean, which is kind of a letdown. I was expecting it to run at least 4.3 or 4.4. We hope that Micromax will push some OTA updates and update it to 4.4 in coming future. Apart from this, software features include some gesture features. Like we saw on the Canvas Turbo, it also has some smart gesture feature in which put it upside down to quickly silent it. There is another gesture feature in which you put it upside down during a call and it will turn it to speakerphone call. and there is a gesture answer if you just put it next to your ear when it is ringing, and there is gesture dial. When you have some contact open on the screen and you put it next to your ear, it will dial the number. You can see the swipe gestures in the main settings, so swipe up control, swipe down control, and there are some other gestures which are provided in the setting. Apart from this, it is pretty basic and standard Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean and works really well. The iconography has been slightly modified. Let's move to our next section, which is the audio and video quality on the Micromax Canvas Knight. Let me quickly stream a video from YouTube and show you how it performs. So all the sound is coming from the bottom speaker mesh here.
Carbon has launched the Titanium Octane Plus with the Octacore processor. This is the top of the line Octacore.
The viewing angles are really good, as you can see. The sound is also fairly loud from these speakers.
Mediatek 659 1.7 GHz Octacore.
And the video viewing experience is fairly good. Let me also play a music track and show you how loud it plays through the speakers. This is fairly loud. I would not say it is one of the loudest that I have heard from Micromax, but it is nothing to complain about. Next important factor is the battery life. The Micromax Canvas Knight is powered by a 2350 mAh concealed battery, and this is a unibody phone. You cannot take out the battery. It is not user removable. On a full charge, it should be able to last you one full day. However, if you're a heavy user, it may run out before the end of the day. So if you are a moderate user, you should not need to worry about the battery life. It will easily last for one full day on a full charge, provided that you are not a very heavy gamer or very fond of doing mobile gaming, in which it may drain out in a couple of hours only. Last but not the least, let's talk about the pricing and value for money of the Micromax Canvas Knight. This phone is retailing around 20,000 rupees at the launch, and the prices will vary. The Canvas Knight is one of the first octa-core processor phones that you get in India. Apart from that, it is really well built. Considering that it gives you top of the line processor, 2 GB of RAM, a full high definition display, a good build, bundled with 32 GB of internal memory, decent accessories including a snap-on back cover which comes in the box itself. It seems to be a good value for money to us with the kind of camera performance, graphics performance, benchmarks, gaming, and overall performance of the Micromax Canvas Knight. There are competing phones which are being launched in this category with the same kind of processor. We have seen the Octane and Octane Plus from Carbon. Another one is Gionee eLife E7 Mini, which will be hitting the market very soon. So you do get some choices, but Micromax Canvas Knight seems to be a very well balanced bundle when it comes to the battery life, performance, features, graphics, specifications, and overall. This is all we have on our review of the Micromax Canvas Knight A350. We hope you like this video. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up by pressing the like button below. For more such videos, stay subscribed by pressing the subscribe button. This is your host Rohit Khurana signing off. Thanks for watching.